Okay, it's been about 13 minutes in the oven. Our pumpkin roll cake part is pretty much baked. When you touch it, it springs back. So what we're going to do is we're going to lightly sprinkle with powdered sugar. Then we're going to take a clean kitchen cloth. You can also use some paper towels. And we're going to flip it. And it should come right out. Okay. Now if you're uncomfortable with using just the towel, you can use a sheet pan to help you stabilize it. Let's go ahead and take off the parchment paper. Okay, and we're going to sprinkle a little bit more powdered sugar on it. And now we're going to roll it up with the kitchen towel. Okay, and then we're going to bring this over to a wire cooling rack to cool off. Okay, so while our pumpkin roll cake cools off, why don't we go ahead and beat up our filling, or make up our filling. So we need 8 ounces, or basically the whole thing, of a package of cream cheese. I'm going to use the 1/3 less fat Neufchâtel kind. And you want it to be softened, so let it come up to room temperature for a little while. Then we need 6 tablespoons or 3 ounces of butter, also softened. You can warm it up in the microwave very slowly, about 10 seconds at a time. Or you can let it, sit at room temperature. We need a teaspoon or 1/8 of an ounce of vanilla extract. Just eyeball it. And then we need a cup of sifted powdered sugar, or about 4.5 ounces. Go ahead and let that sift on through. Okay, let's go ahead and bring this over to the mixer. And basically all we're going to do is we're going to just beat these ingredients until it's combined into the cream cheese filling. Okay, our cream cheese filling is light, airy, and it's ready to be put on our pumpkin roll. So once your pumpkin roll is cooled off, we'll go ahead and spread this on top. Okay, so now that our pumpkin roll cake has cooled off to room temperature, let's go ahead and unroll it. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to spread our cream cheese filling over the cake. So light and airy. I might have to use this cream cheese filling for a cake sometime. Okay, and I'm just going to use my rubber spatula so I don't have to pull out any more tools. You can, of course, use your offset spatula if you prefer. Okay, and let's carefully re-roll it. Sticking to the towel a little bit, that's okay. up until we have the seam side down. A little icing on the sides. Let's go ahead and smudge it off. Okay, and then we're just going to wrap it in plastic wrap and refrigerate it for about an hour. Okay, so it's been about an hour. We're going to go ahead and unwrap our pumpkin roll. Okay, we'll start by cutting off the edge. For a clean cut, always to wipe your knife. And there you go. The slice of the Libby's famous pumpkin roll. Alright, I'm going to cut off a few more slices, and then we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. Now, the pumpkin roll also, it freezes really well too. My mom would always make a couple extra rolls ahead of time, and she would just freeze them. She'd make them during Thanksgiving, and then she would freeze them, and then she'd pull them out for Christmas. She'd let them thaw in the refrigerator, and then slice them up. She used to say too that they slice a little bit better when they're a little bit frozen. So, but I'm not really having any issues slicing it. Okay, and that's how to make a basic pumpkin roll. Now remember, you can use different kinds of spices if you want. You can change up the cinnamon and clove. You can use pumpkin pie spice if you prefer. You can put in nutmeg. Nutmeg's a really popular spice recipe. Just be careful not to overspice it and turn it basically into gingerbread. Unless that's what you're looking for, you can go for it. And remember, the pumpkin roll needs to be cooled down before you make the filling. So you might want to wait a little bit longer to make the filling. Let's say you probably want to wait, give it a good hour to cool down to room temperature, because you really don't want it to be hot, because if it does get hot, it'll melt the filling and it'll just ooze out the sides. Kind of like if you're trying to ice a cake with buttercream icing at a really high temperature, like if it's like hot or humid or whatever. So just keep that in mind. And remember, the Aubergine chef demystifying dessert one recipe at a time.